Hey everybody, I'm finally sitting down to get this video filmed. There's a lot going on in my brain, so forgive me if I ramble or it's jumpy or anything. I just wanted to get this out there because I think it's important. So anybody that knows me knows that I have a long medical history, lots of issues ranging from headaches to gastroparesis to interstitial cystitis, insomnia, frequent infections, my skin's atrocious, no energy, no building muscle. I've been sick frequently and I wanted to know what was going on. So I wanted to get my hormones tested and I went to a local endocrinology office to get that done. I unfortunately didn't have a very good experience with them. I also didn't have a good experience with the other office I went to, but the end result of all of that was I had an MRI done for adrenal tumors, and I did not have any adrenal tumors, so I was thrilled about that. But obviously something was wrong, or my blood work wouldn't be coming back abnormal, and I wouldn't feel terrible. So, at the recommendation of very close family friends, I went to Dr. Harvey in Boise, and he is the best doctor I have ever seen. I never have really felt heard by any of my doctors. I felt rushed through all my appointments and nobody really cared to figure out what was going on with me. I was too complex of a case or whatever the situation was. So after a 2-hour appointment with me, he suggested that I get a hair test done, and that searches for minerals, environmental toxins, and stuff like that. So I had that done and I was ready to get my results, and he called me in. I was so not concerned about anything because I had no tumor. So I didn't really care what else happened. But he sat me down and told me that he found out why I've had all these problems, what has been haunting me all these years. And what he told me was absolutely mind-blowing. My jaw probably hit the floor. He told me I'm the most poisoned person he's ever seen. Dr. Harvey has been in practice for 17 years. He's done over 5,000 hair tests. And I'm like, okay, poisoned with what? What could I possibly have in my system for this long that's been causing all of these problems? And he told me that I have arsenic poisoning. Yeah, that arsenic. All the crime shows where they murder their husbands and stuff. Yeah, arsenic. The level is so high. He couldn't even believe it. It's off the chart, times 4. So trying to process that has been a little bit of a weird experience, and trying to find out where I was getting it from. We looked at all types of sources of arsenic, and the level is just too high for me to have accumulated it over a short period of time or through organic sources. Arsenic is either organic or inorganic. Organic obviously meaning it's found naturally, so some groundwater, some fish, rice, fruit juices have all been found to contain a trace amount of arsenic. But the inorganic form is what's really toxic to humans. My doctor said that's the only possible way that I could have this high of levels is if it was from an inorganic source over an extended a period of time. So with that being said, we have kind of traced the timeline of everything and determined through that and just the levels in my system that it is very likely that I was poisoned intentionally. The timing of everything leads right back to an ex-boyfriend of mine. Just a quick timeline for reference. From the time that I met my ex to not even a year later, we had been together for 11 months. And in that time, I got interstitial cystitis, which is an incurable bladder disease. I developed gallbladder disease and had to have it taken out. I was hospitalized for a week with gastroparesis, which is where your stomach muscles become paralyzed and you can't digest any food. So I was just having food rot in my stomach. We moved in together. Things only got worse from there. And I've had no good medical anything since then. I have been sick all the time. I get all these weird random problems that doctors are just baffled by, and now we know. So that was a little bit of a shocker and kind of crazy, but I'm so thankful that I have an answer finally. It's been so many years and it's been so much struggle. And I'm just so happy to finally have an answer. So reason one I wanted to do this was to get the word out that if you've been sick for a long time or you feel unheard by your doctors or anything like that, trust your gut and find somebody who will listen to you, because there is someone out there that will. And I truly did not believe that. I had pretty much given up on doctors. But if you know something is wrong, follow through and make sure you get the care that you need. The other big reason I wanted to share my story was because of the domestic violence side of things. And I mean, I was in a relationship where I was abused sexually, physically, mentally, emotionally, any possible way. And I stuck with him for years. Like, I understand how hard it can be to leave, but I hope that by doing this and sharing my story that somebody will get the courage to leave or reach out to me and I can try to help in any way that I can, support you. It's been such a big secret of mine, and I'm tired of hiding it, and I want to help other people that are dealing with the same thing. So where do I go from here? I'm on a regimen of a lot of pills a day. I take 6 pills and drink cod liver oil before I do anything else for the day. I take anywhere from 44 to 46 pills every day. It's like 12 with every meal. And it's going to take about 1.5 years at minimum to get it all out of my system. So I'm detoxing really hard right now. The only way to get arsenic out of your system is for it to be in your bloodstream and then you pee or poop it out. It's been stored in my tissue and my organs all this time. That's why it hasn't left my body. And so I'm in essence being re-poisoned. So I'm feeling all of the effects of the arsenic poisoning again, but it's what needs to be done to get it out. And I'm so thankful to have an answer and a path to follow. I will, of course, keep you guys up to date on the detox and how all of the arsenic stuff is going. But I am feeling led to tell more of my story. There's a lot more to share as far as the domestic violence stuff goes. And I know that there are a lot of people out there that can relate. So I don't know if doing a podcast where people come on and can share their stories and experiences, having counselors or other support type people come in and help give us resources or information on other places we can go for help. I want to talk about the hair testing, what that looked like, what the process was, all the information I got out of it. It was intense. So I think it's really beneficial for everybody. I want to touch on trauma, what it does to the brain physically, and ways that we can fight PTSD, anxiety, depression, all the things that come along with abuse in any format. So I just want to thank you guys for sticking to the end of this long video. I know it was a lot. If you guys have questions, I'm an open book. I'd love to help inform people. That's why I did this. So yeah, I really appreciate it, and thanks for sticking with me.